We now turn our attention to boxing and the upcoming fight coming up on Saturday, the rematch, Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. First fight, Liam Smith with a pretty early stoppage. Eubank claims he was hit by an elbow. I think an elbow did land, I don't know if it was intentional, but the fight ended pretty quickly. Eubank's legendary punch resistance and durability came into question. And now we've got a rematch. He's trying to save his reputation. And at this stage of his career, it's a very important fight. There's a lot at stake. Roy Jones won't be in the corner this time. It'll be Bomac, Terence Crawford's trainer. And Liam Smith seems a little bit, I don't know, I think he thinks he deserves a bit more respect. Obviously, the way he's won the last fight is pretty conclusive. And I think he feels that he shouldn't have to sit at the press conference and listen to Eubank talk about how he's going to raise his game and win. And I think Eubank was a bit more humble at the press conferences, which he had to be really. But I think Liam Smith's expecting a bit more reputation and a bit more respect from everybody. We just see him sort of fighting for his full respect, and I can see where he's coming from. He's a great fighter. He's had a great career. Fought the likes of Canelo, been a world champion. He has had a tremendous career. And it's almost like, because Eubank is thought of as it's not the A side in the rematch. I think he would have been the A side in the first fight before Liam Smith beat him. But because of the sort of attention Eubank Jr. brings, he sort of feels that he's not getting his full respect. And I think that might motivate him, even though he's won the first fight. I don't think there's any chance that Liam Smith is going to come into this rematch and be cavalier. He's going to come in and put in his full effort. He's the favourite. I've seen him priced at about 8-13, and Eubank is 13-10. So Liam Smith has been given his respect by the bookies. And Liam Smith's a durable fighter. He's always paced himself well. He has a high guard, very well schooled. Sort of a peekaboo defence with his arms. But he kind of let go with his hands in the Eubank fight, which was really, I was surprised. And usually he comes on late, but he must have seen something. He must have felt his punches were getting through, and then opened up on Eubank, and the fight was stopped. So Eubank saying the ref should have let him take a beating and continue. Don't know about that really, but that's his excuse for losing the first fight. I think it's not an easy fight to find value in really, because those odds, 8-13 Smith and 13-10 Eubank, I don't think there's either of them that's screaming value. I don't think Eubank is enough of an underdog to look at the price and say, yeah, we're going to go Eubank on the price. And then Smith at 8-13, it's about right. He's won the first fight. You have to look at what's actually happened. Liam Smith stopped him very early. You're talking about an elbow, but the fight was stopped early. And it's hard to see that being reversed. Obviously, Eubank's selling it. He's got Bomac. It's a change from Roy Jones. It kind of reminds me of the David Haye rematch with Bellew. So in the first fight, Haye hurt his leg and I think he hurt his foot or something. I can't remember exactly, but Bellew got the win. In the rematch, Haye talked a big game. No stone has been left unturned. Feeling younger and fresher than I've ever been. And he made everyone believe with a very compelling sales pitch. But when the rematch came, Bellew demolished him fairly quickly. And I suppose the Liverpool connection is there with Liam Smith, a Liverpool favourite. And it just feels to me it's that kind of story. I think Liam Smith will probably get the job done in this one. I don't think it will be early. The two options I'll be looking at are sort of Liam Smith on points, or Liam Smith as a late stoppage. It's probably the direction I'd be looking in, just to boost the odds a little bit. 8-13 doesn't really do much. I'll have a shop around and see exactly what the prices are and stick them in the comments, because I haven't actually looked at them fully at this point, but I will look at that. My prediction would be Liam Smith. I'm going to go on points. That's what I think will happen. You could also have a go at Liam Smith rounds 9-12. That's what I'm thinking. Eubank could turn it up and come back galvanised, trying to save his career, but it's this could sort of thing. And we're looking in the past. Eubank hasn't really been that active in the last few years. And some of the fights he's had in the short term, certainly around COVID and afterwards, they weren't that impressive, were they? Fought some guy, I can't even remember the guy's name, and he didn't look that great. That was earlier with Roy Jones. Then Marcus Morrison. I mean, the level hasn't been that great. And then he stepped in with Liam Smith, who's a schooled former world champion, and then he's been exposed. And I know he's coming in with a lot of energy, but I think his possibility, he even knows that he might not have the engine that he used to have or the durability. I picked him in the first fight and got it wrong, because I bought into the old narrative, the old Eubank. You know, he was tough as old boots, could take a shot, and great engine on him. And he still got that. He still showed that in the early rounds of the Liam Smith fight. But Liam Smith is just coming solid, you know, with what he always is, which is solid, well schooled. He's able to pace the fight well, come with a second wind late on. Even when Liam Smith is in trouble in the first 6 rounds, he finds his engine, he paces himself and brings his engine on late. You know, that he can soak up abuse as well. I've seen him. You remember the Liam Williams fight? I think Liam Williams did pretty well in those fights. Didn't get much credit, but Liam Smith got the 2 wins, and just kept his arms up, and those arms of his, he's able to take quite a beating and not complain. So Eubank would have to really turn it up on him. I mean, Eubank's not known for his one-punch power. It would have to be an accumulation, you know, of work rate and a flurry of shots over a sustained period of time. But Liam Smith can take a basting. And I think he'll just absorb it and then wait for his moment, wait for Eubank to tire a little bit. You know, Eubank's later on in his career now, he's a bit older. So there will be moments where he can't be a machine doling out punch-perfect, beautiful punches, you know, in flurries over and over. There's going to be lulls, and Liam Smith will pick his moment, you know. So I think Smith on points, or Smith rounds 9 to 12. Please give your opinion. Let us know which way you think it will go. Let us know what you think will be the critical factor. I think the critical factor is Eubank hasn't been that active, hasn't fought a great competition. Liam Smith's just been consistent in the late part of his career, and throughout his career he's been a consistently high performer, fighting Canelo in the States, losing to Canelo but putting in a good campaign, you know. Got into the second half of the fight, and that's a few years ago, that's a while ago now, but that's the sort of experience he has, you know. The Canelo fight is, it's just part of his experience. He's a very experienced guy. Liam Smith, very focused. He's not going to let you off the hook. He's got the fighter's mentality. He's not going to give up. I don't see Liam Smith throwing in the towel. There's talk in the fight about towels, you know. Eubank saying, oh, he's taken the towel from Bomac. No towel will be brought in his corner. And Liam Smith is saying, oh, you know, that shows that Bomac isn't in control of his corner, and that he's taking orders from Eubank. He's accused Eubank of not listening earlier on in his career. We know that story. You know, Eubank's training background with trainers hasn't been that great. So, you know, it's a lot of talk there. I think Smith will just come and be consistent and produce pretty much what he produced in the first fight, and if he does, it's probably enough to win. I think Eubank will have more heart in it. He's more motivated. I think he'll really dig in. You know, I think he can get to the second half of the fight, certainly. He might even get the full distance, but I just think Smith will do enough on points or by late stoppage, rounds 9 to 12. I'm going to put the odds in for those 2 bets in the comments. Please give any comments you have. Enjoy the fight. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.